Okay, we've already talked about how to actually give something a color, a shape, a color, but let's talk about gradients. So we're going to come here, we're going to make a nice circle. Let's make it a perfect circle. So we'll go 3.5, tab 3.5, and then hit enter. So we know it's a perfect circle. So as we know, we come down here to the fill and we click on the color. Oh, come here, like here, and we click on our color and we can get it whatever color we want. We have our swatches, our colors down here. Go with that. But notice up top here, it says fill color. And there is also a drop down. I click the drop down and know that there are several different other fills. We have background, noise, and texture. I'm going to be looking at the linear gradient, radial gradient, and angular gradient. So let's go to the radial gradient because we are using a circle. I click on it, and you're going to notice up top another bar above the actual mixer. You have an actual bar. It goes from red to black, and if you look over here at a circle, it's red in the middle, black to the outside, and it looks wonderful. There are two things that we can do. We can either click on here on the red and I can slide it left and I can make and flop the black over on the other side. And notice we can flip flop these two. And now black is in the middle, red is on the back. Great thing to do. We'll say I don't want it to be black, I want it to be white. So let's click on that one and change the actual color. It's there. Once that's done, notice I have a highlight in the middle, but I don't want that. I want to slide that over to the left. So let's click on that circle and let's move it over here. Yes, I can move these also, and it depends on how it goes, elongate it, but for right now, I want to keep it at a right angle. Let's bring this up a little bit higher because we're going to say that the light's coming from this direction here. Once clicked off, notice we actually have a nice highlight on the top left side looking down to the right side. And if I really wanted to make this even more realistic, I can slide the red over here and add another color. And that's very simple. And that's by clicking, and I'm over here on the right-hand side, another box. Boom. And I can bring the color selector down to a darker red. And notice how that's just adding to it. Let's bring this down. And I can slide that left and slide that right. Now I have a wonderful value from a highlight all the way to a low light, a little circle here, but considering what we're using, this is a wonderful piece. That's how we put a gradient in. So let's take it one step further. Let's make another ellipse. And let's click it and let's drag it. Now it's gray again. We're going to go to a different gradient. Again, clicking where it says color fill, and let's go to a linear gradient. And it goes black and white. Of course, my white is there, black is there, as you can see over here. I can see that also. Let's flip it. Come here and flip. Boom. Bring that up here. Now notice it's overlapping. We can take care of that very easy by moving our layers, pop that down, and notice now I have a cast shadow. And let's get a little closer. Let's fine tune this really well. Click here. Let's bring it up. I'm going to use the arrow keys because the arrow keys are more specific. And notice now, go back, I have, using gradients, a nice three-dimensional form with a cast shadow. And it works wonderfully. Last but not least is going to be our what we call, and there's one more piece to do. And let's do this in the shape tool. Our last gradient is going to be what we call the angular gradient. And you're going to see it starts dark, swoops all the way around to light. And of course, we can rotate that wherever you want to. So it actually looks like, if you're looking at it, that it is like a staircase. It starts up here, and you're starting to walk down, down, down into a spiral staircase. And it works out really, really well. But it really looks good. And let's go Control Z. It looks really good if you put it in a square or any other kind of shape. I've done it with a half circle, where I've sliced the half circle in half. But let's try that rectangle. Let's see how that looks. Come here. Again, fill, angular gradient. Let's put it in the corner here like this. And that looks really cool. Makes it very three-dimensional, where you have your highlight coming this direction, and it looks like it's actually a pyramid of some sort because our eyes are filling that in. So that's how we use the gradient, and that's how we'll stop right there.